Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming, and in today's video we have to talk about season 24 because we're seeing a lot of the leaks coming out now, and oh my god, season 24 looks absolutely insane. I cannot wait to play this. So let's actually jump in and talk about the changes. But just quickly, if you guys are looking to hit season 24 on the ground running, then you have to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, with that out of the way, let's actually hop into things now. And yes, season 24 has a lot of changes coming in. Respawn has actually gone on record saying that they want this to basically be an Apex 2.0. And I get that because they can't really release an Apex 2, kind of like PoE 2. It just wouldn't work. Apex is its own game, and releasing a sequel to it just doesn't seem like it would really work out that well. So if they want to kind of reignite that flame that the players once had, they're going to have to revamp a lot. So this Apex 2.0 looks absolutely insane to me, and I cannot wait to play this. Now, unfortunately, I have not been accepted into EA's creator program as of right now, so all of this is secondhand information that we have gotten from other people in the creator program, so do take this with a slight grain of salt. This is secondhand information, and because of that, I'm not really going to go too in depth into a lot of stuff because I don't want to throw out misinformation. I'm only going to really talk about the stuff that we do know about. So to start things off, let's talk about the armor changes because these are one of the things I'm really excited about. Level 3 armor is going to be the highest armor you can achieve. That is the purple armor. We are no longer going to see people running around with red armor unless they do get the care package. Now, the red helmet has gone into the care package in season 24, and that is the only way to get red armor. If you get the mythic helmet, you get red armor now, and I love that change. That is going to make things a lot more exciting for fights because you're going to know if only one person has the red armor. It's not going to be a full team of red armor, and this is going to push the fights to be those faster paced fights that Respawn is wanting the game to go towards once again. And we will talk about the faster paced fights a little bit down the road once we talk about the weapons and all the changes like that. But the armor is going to be something that a lot of the newer players are going to have to get used to because most of the players that are new have only really been around since Evo armor was a thing. Before Evo armor really came out, purple was the highest you could get, and that was it. And you had to find that armor. You didn't just get to level up your armor. You had to luck out and find the RNG to get purple armor. But Evo armor has made fights a little bit more consistent, and I am happy that Evo armor is a thing, but I am actually also happy that they have taken out the red armor because the fights have gotten a little bit too drawn out, and I think we all know that third parties are super annoying, and this will reduce the third parties, so this is a good change in my opinion. Another armor change that we do have to mention is helmets. Only red and gold helmets will be available in the game, but they're going to be very rare to find, and they won't have any damage reduction. You will no longer be able to find helmets on the ground, and this is going to be a little bit weird to get used to, but I think this is a fantastic change overall. It is going to speed up fights, like I have said, because there is going to be no damage reduction on headshots, which I do think is a good thing, but also the helmets being removed from ground loot is going to make it so that the loot pool isn't as cluttered. Loot pool being cluttered is a huge issue that Apex has been working through there. It's the entirety of its lifespan, and so them removing another piece of basically useless gear off the ground is going to make things so much better for you finding loot off drop. And also, I do want to point out that the helmets no longer having any damage reduction on them is going to make fights a little bit more reliant on headshots. Before, if you didn't hit a lot of headshots, it wasn't really the worst thing in the world because you could still outdamage somebody. But now, if you are actually able to hit those headshots reliably, you are probably going to win a more vast majority of your fights. This is something that I am really interested to see how it does play out in the actual game. I'm wondering if this is a little bit too far over the edge, or if they should have just lowered the damage reduction, or maybe your helmet leveled up with your Evo, something along those lines. But hey, let's see how it plays out in the actual game. But next up, we can talk about the classes in Apex because the supports have been running pretty rampant this season, but next season they are getting a pretty massive nerf. They are getting the heal expert perk taken away from them, and that's the one where if they were popping a shield cell or a syringe, it healed double. And I do like that the supports were a little bit too overpowered. This is going to bring them back down a level where they are just a little bit more beatable in a sense, but also the healing items are being sped up next season, so using any healing item is going to be faster. So if the supports were able to heal double and have the faster heal, that would have been just way too broken. So this is a nice give and take. Everyone is getting faster healing, but these guys are getting that taken away. I like that. Now, next up, the Assault class is getting a huge buff. First off, they are getting the Stowed Reload class perk. This is a new Assault class perk, and it lets Assault Legends automatically reload weapons after 2 seconds, eliminating the need to reload manually. This basically does what the Gold Mag did, and I do think that they are removing the Gold Mag off the ground if this is the case, or maybe it's just going to be something that you can spread the love between your teammates now. If you're an Assault class, you don't need the Gold Mag, so you can give it to your teammates to have more advantages on the team. I haven't seen anything about the Gold Mag, but again, like I said, take this with a grain of salt. I will be doing a full patch breakdown as soon as that comes out as well, so maybe we'll see in the future. They are still keeping the Combat Reserve perk. This is what allows them to access the red supply bins and also have extra ammo, but now they are going to add 2 inventory slots just for grenades. So Thermite, Arc Stars, and Frag Grenades, they're the Assault class. They want to be aggressive. Grenades do that. It makes sense. But they are also receiving the Battle Surge perk, and this is where I think Respawn kind of jumped the shark with the Assault class. This is where they might have gone a little bit too overboard. With the Battle Surge perk, anytime you crack an enemy, this grants a speed boost, faster reloads, and highlights enemies for the team. That is ridiculous amounts of just advantages only for cracking someone. I think it should have been more along the lines of Revenant's passive, where you get them below a certain percentage of health and then you get it. Cracking somebody, especially if they're on white armor, is not that hard to do. So this might just make fights way too fast paced for a lot of people, and it might overwhelm a lot of the newer players that weren't used to the fast paced fights that the game originally had. I definitely think that next season Mad Maggie with this is going to be way too strong with her ball and her drill and this passive perk, so we'll have to see what actually happens in game. But we are also seeing some changes to the legends. First off, Ballistic might actually be useful next season. They're giving him an integrated sling and dual tactical charge up upgrades into his base kit. They also have given him double of his tacticals, so he potentially has 4 smart bullets when he is on purple armor. And his sling can now carry care package weapons, so when he ults with a care package weapon in his sling, that has infinite ammo. I don't know if this is going to be enough to bring Ballistic into the meta, but with the class passive changes and this, he might actually not be useless. I do hope that we do see some upgrades to his smart bullet, because right now they're not really scary and they're just kind of tickling you and they don't really matter a whole lot. But potentially having 4 in a fight could actually make Ballistic the aggressive player that he wants to be and not just be kind of a laughingstock. But that's not the only legend receiving some changes, because Ashe is also getting a huge buff. Her ultimate is receiving some love because it can now travel further, you move faster through it, and it has improved endpoint detection, so you're not going to be just randomly hoping that it goes to the right spot when you are ulting. There's been so many times where I, playing Ashe and also versing Ashe, just don't end up where they want to go and you die because of it. So this is a good buff for her ultimate. Her tactical is also receiving some changes, and the snare will now tether from its own location rather than the enemy target's location. I don't know how much this will really change her Q. I don't know if it's more of a quality of life update, but again, Ashe love is Ashe love, so we're here for it. And she's getting a new passive with omnidirectional dashing. It's going to be called Predator's Pursuit, and it will allow her to rapidly reposition in close combat or close the distance quickly to a tethered target. And you can upgrade it to 2 charges through her upgrade tree. Now, I think this is Respawn's kind of leveling the playing field with tap strafing, because they aren't able to remove it without breaking the game, but tap strafing is a pretty broken ability on its own. So they might be trying to level the playing field with controller players by giving them this ability to kind of tap strafe on their own. That being said, this does sound like this is going to be broken by movement players the second it hits the game. I can see somebody like Lemonhead or Tree Reed doing some wild, crazy movement techniques with this. Now, Ashe is also an Assault legend, so she might be a pretty strong contender for strongest legend next season, depending on how all of these buffs stack on top of each other. Now, you may think that we are finished and that's just kind of all the leaks that we got right now, but that is not even close, because we got to talk about the weapons next. And of course, with the weapons, the first thing I don't want to talk about is the arsenals. Now, the arsenal stations are going to be located across the map in every single POI. and they're going to allow you to pick the weapon that you want with the attachments that you want. And I don't know how I feel about this. Respawn is taking a lot of the RNG out of Apex with this. They have said that they want to make it the best competitive shooter, and this is definitely the direction that they're going now, because competitive shooters and randomness don't really mix. So allowing more consistency through every single game is going to be wild, but these off drop are going to be way too strong. So I am hoping that these don't activate until a little bit after you drop, so that fights off drop are still a little bit random and do require a little bit more skill, because if it's just everyone kind of bogarting the arsenal and playing around that, it might get a little bit boring. But also being able to choose the weapon that you want with the attachments that you want seems way too strong for those to be off drop. So they might activate a little bit after, kind of like the Evo caches, which is what I'm hoping for. Now also, the weapons are all getting buffed, every single one of them. Respawn has stated that they want the time to kill to be lower, and so with doing that, they're making all the guns stronger so that fights are faster and there's less third partying. Now I am going to speed through these a little bit because there is a lot of information, but try to keep up. Starting off with the assault rifles, the R301 is doing 14 to the body and 18 to the head. The Flatline is doing 19 to the body, 25 to the head. The Hemlock is doing 20 to the body, 26 to the head. The Nemesis is doing 17 to the body, 22 to the head. And the Havoc's doing 21 to the body and 27 to the head. Next up, we have the SMGs, and the Car is doing 14 to the body, 17 to the head. The R99 is doing 13 to the body, 16 to the head. The Volt is doing 16 to the body, 19 to the head. The Alternator is doing 18 to the body, 22 to the head. The Prowler is doing 16 to the body and 19 to the head. LMGs are up next. The Spitfire is doing 21 to the body, 26 to the head. The Rampage is doing 30 to the body, 38 to the head. The L-Star is doing 20 to the body, 25 to the head. The Devotion is doing 16 to the body and 20 to the head. Then we got the Marksman rifles. The G7 is doing 35 to the body, 56 to the head. The Triple Take's doing 66 to the body, 70 to the head. The 30-30 repeater is doing 58 to the body and 93 to the head. And the Bocek is doing 75 to the body and 120 to the head. Now for the sniper rifles, we got the Charge Rifle doing 75 to the body and 135 to the head. The Longbow doing 60 to the body, 108 to the head. The Sentinel's doing 70 to the body, 126 to the head. And the Kraber's doing 150 to the body and 210 to the head. Now for the shotguns, the EVA 8 is doing 64 to the body, 64 to the head. The Peacekeeper is doing 108 to the body and 135 to the head. The Mastiff's doing 96 to the body and 96 to the head. And the Mozambique is doing 45 to the body and 60 to the head. Now finally, we have the pistols, and the Wingman is doing 48 to the body, 72 to the head. The RE45 is doing 14 to the body, 18 to the head. And the P2020 is doing 24 to the body and 30 to the head. That is wild numbers, and I hope you guys were able to kind of keep up with that. I know that I was talking a little bit fast, but I wanted to kind of zoom through that so we could talk about the really cool stuff. And I think the Wingman PK meta is coming back. The Wingman doing 72 damage to the head, and the Peacekeeper doing potentially 135 to the head. Oh my god, that is wild. And I do think that with how fast the game is going to be speeding up and fights going to be kind of more reliant on wiping teams as fast as possible, fights are going to be faster paced. So being able to run the pistol like the Wingman, to have the stray speed, the run speed, everything like that is going to be very beneficial. Now, one that I was really caught off guard by was the 30-30 repeater. 93 to the head is absolutely insane. That's almost on par with the sniper rifles. But again, like I did say, fights are going to be speeding up, so I'm not quite sure if marksman rifles are actually going to have a spot in the meta. If people are just aping everything and trying to wipe fights as fast as they possibly can, the 30-30 and other marksman rifles won't really have a spot because those are more poke weapons. And if poking isn't a huge thing, they're not really going to have a spot in the meta. It doesn't really matter how much damage they do. If they're not good in fights, they're not going to be good in the meta, and they're not going to really be used. Other than that, I wasn't really caught off guard by anything. The LMGs do look pretty strong, but LMGs are always really good. The SMGs might have another spot in the meta because the SMGs might be good in the sped up fights, but who really knows? I do think that the Nemesis is going to be still the strongest assault rifle. It is still going to be the #1 most picked weapon, probably because it's just way too good. But again, this is one of the things that we're just going to have to wait and see. And the last thing I want to talk about is just a little bit of the kind of quality of life things. First off, 3 big things. Syringes and cells will be stacked in 6 per slot. And like I mentioned before, all of the healing items will be faster to use. We don't know exact times on those, but they're going to be faster. Just keep it at that. And the crawl speed of knocked players is also going to be increased. So finishing someone might be a little bit harder to do if you are a distance away from them. Also, for the first time ever, Respawn is actually showing the SBMM inside of pub games. Like they have done with the rank distribution in front of the rank games, they're going to be showing the skill distribution in the pub games. So there's going to be kind of a curvature going on, and it's going to show your team versus the lobby lobby, and you can kind of see where you stack up against everyone. This is an interesting thing for Respawn to do because they have never done this in the past. It has always been hidden, and they've been very secretive of the SBMM that has been going on inside lobbies. So I actually am interested to see how this does play out because this is brand new for Respawn. I didn't expect this from them. And they did say that the ranked playlist is going to be receiving more changes to improve the matchmaking scenarios and provide a better playing field. I'm not quite sure what that all entails. That's all we really got from that. I think it's just going to mean that like in a Predator Masters lobby, we're not going to be seeing gold players because I'm in Masters right now and I have been killing gold and platinum players and I do not feel good about it. Somebody that's in Masters should not be fighting people that are in gold and platinum, even if they are queued with a diamond player. That just should not be happening. But with that being said, I am going to be streaming a lot of my rank grind next season. So if you guys want to watch me play, come check out my Twitch stream sometime over on twitch.tv/8secondgaming. And also let me know your predictions or what you're most excited for in season 24 in the comments down below. And if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one.